where the internet rebels against my snobbery. All right, Dune is better than Star Wars, though. Like, like when I read every time I read Dune, I'm like, like this is not quite perfect, but it sure is a heck of a lot better than Star Wars. Get in bed, honey. Okay, wave and say hi. Okay, get in bed. Close the door and get in bed. All right. Close the door. Tears up. Tears up. Close the door. All right. So, welcome back. I feel like we just did this, but we're doing it again. Uh,
I am perfectly fine with that.
yes. All right. When last we left our heroes, after scouting out the strangely abandoned-looking Minas Morwen, the PCs and our heroes entered via the moat house, where they managed to surprise and imprison the ancient and gnarled Easterling who guarded it. You guys are just the worst to Easterlings. Like you're just consistently mean to Easterlings. Like you guys are racists, really.
If they were consistently decent people, we'd be pretty cool. But they're consistently not decent people.
After tying him up to make sure he wouldn't notify anyone of their presence, they proceeded over the drawbridge and into the ruined courtyard. There they were assaulted by horrifying apparitions of those who had died terrible deaths, seemingly at their own hand. Pressing on, they entered the great hall, where they found themselves watched by a number of severed heads. Following the stairs up into the high tower, they came first to a room where a skeletal figure still wore the livery of the White Tree. Next, they narrowly avoided plummeting to their death in a room that was not really there. Climbing still further higher, they found and freed Nar and Noe, the two companions of Ongi, who had been taken captive along with him nearly 3 years ago. Both Nar and Noe had been driven half mad, perhaps more than half mad, with grief and despair. Higher up in the tower, they came to a room where a magical banquet seemed to be spread, and they nearly lost themselves in the enchantment of the room before Warsong managed to remember herself and shatter the room's magic with a song. Pressing ever upward, the party came at last to a room which, when they opened...
Borlad, our ranger buddy, also.
Yeah, Borlad is still unconscious, yeah. Pressing upward, the party came at last to a room which, when they opened it, revealed the prostrate form of Berthagund, whom they had last left in Sunstead, where, according to rumor, she was at work, trying to seduce Kewina the Generous.
Not that Warsong knows that.
And that is
Or
where...
anybody.
That is where we are going to pick up tonight. So as you step into the room, Ranny and Warsong, you both immediately recognize the face, the haggard, half-starved, bone-weary face of Berthagund staring up at you out of hollow cheeks. Her eyes are just kind of huge and gray and have lost the sparkle and the shine of youth. And she looks up at you both and she says, "Oh, is this another trick?" What do you do?
Warsong has her hand on her dagger. I don't know, is it?
Would you say yes?
I wondered if she was tied up.
She's not tied up. The room that she's in is probably it's about a 10 by 10 cell. The floor, there's a kind of an old mat in one corner, and the floor is strewn with some not very pleasant smelling straw.
Last time I saw you, Berthagoon, you were back at Sunset, having brought back the news that Lady Astrid had been kidnapped. How is it that you are here?
Is it some kind of a trick? Because if it is, I'm all done with playing your games, Morwen.
We are here to rescue Lady Astrid. But I think you might not be who you seem to be. Very good.
She kind of works for a moment to push herself up off the floor. I have never been anything but loyal to the Lady Astrid. And if you, phantoms, have come to make me betray her, I'll not have any of it. And she lunges at you, Warsong, and just stumbles and falls to the ground at your feet.
Angie tries to catch her.
Okay, yeah, you kind of catch her. It's not difficult. She's really skin and bones. Doesn't weigh very much at all.
Sigaroon. Is it her? Berthigoon, how is it that you're here? And Warsong's going to kneel down and, satisfied with Sigaroon, she's going to see if there's anything that can be done to help. Like,
I mean,
if
she's
you've
basically...
injured her.
There's no injuries, but
just
she's just
weak.
very weak. Yeah.
Here, Berthigoon. Everyone thought that you were left behind and only Astrid was taken.
She clutches at your arm. Swear to me. Swear that you're real.
I am real, Berthigoon, and I am here to rescue Lady Astrid or die in the attempt.
As by chance, the Lady Moore never sent dwarves to visit you before.
No?
That's sort of what I was thinking. Don't really know that this would be a bit new. Oh yeah. I mean, perhaps we're all part of some sort of great feint where we're supposed to throw you off our track by being so unusual, like you've never seen before. You wouldn't see us coming. You'd think we're real because we're actually something you wouldn't see coming.
She does look at you, Branny, and then she looks over at Warsong and she says, "Why are you traveling with all these dwarves?"
Well,
Up on the way.
we've been next door neighbors for the past few hundred years or so, but that's besides the point.
100 years. Crazy dwarves, then.
And Warsong has at some point set down Warlab.
Yeah.
Just
The
remembering that
large sleeping man's a nice touch, isn't it?
Elbows hangy.
I mean, last time the Moran was in, I don't doubt she brought one of those too.
The elbows very high. Like, obviously.
Berthigoon, we're on our way in. Are you able to walk?
No, then you're the
What's the
crazy
idea of leaving-
ones.
I don't like the idea of leaving you behind.
I'll be fine. If you're looking for Lady Astrid, she shouldn't be far. I sometimes hear her at night. She talks to the child a lot.
Where is the child?
That I don't know. It's been a few months since the lady was in her pains. I remember hearing that. They wouldn't let me go to her. And then, a few days later, more pain than I've ever heard anyone be in my entire life. I think they took him from her.
Was it a boy?
I don't know. She always thought it was. But sometimes I hear her at night, crying and talking. I... But in this place, it can't be far.
Who's watching the door? Sorry, out of character.
Randy will watch the door.
Okay.
We just gone out riding. We weren't even that far from Sunstead. There had been, well, no sign of danger for years around that parts. And we lay down for a nap under an oak tree, and the next thing I knew, I was waking up, and those things had us. I don't know how much time passed exactly. I remember once or twice we tried to get away, but the lady wasn't moving very fast, and I've never been much good in those sorts of situations. You could have done better than I did, more so.
Yes. She has someone pretending to be you.
What?
She has someone who we all thought was you back at Sunstead, taking care of Lord Keowina's house.
What?
We thought you came back. Nobody knew you were here.
Why would she do that?
Well, if the scuttlebutt is to be understood, it's because the other you is trying to get.
You don't know that.
I haven't heard this. Haven't we talked about it on the way?
Warsong didn't.
Apparently, Warsong still hasn't actually understood that. So,
Warsong never got that. All of that conversation has been out of character.
Well, don't mind me then.
I mean,
What if I was you?
I guess depending on how often Angi has traveled to Sunstead, he may have heard something.
Okay.
That's up to you.
Yes, Warsong was remarkably dense
Yeah. Yeah.
because her player thought the best of Berthagoon. But it worked.
Look, getting in's not the hard part. It's whether or not they'll let you out of the tower.
That's what the guardsman said just before we tied him up.
Well,
Well,
that's
we
why
better be moving.
I was just going to assure the young lady that now that I've gotten the kinsman out, we're quite good at digging. So, if it comes down to it, we can make our own way out.
Maybe not from this high up in the tower, though.
Oh, you know.
Dig straight down.
That's right.
It's a little highly advanced dwarven digging technique we call falling.
Hey, it's always worked in
The other way.
Minecraft. Just never was able to get out.
You can get out. It's just the surviving part.
All right. You know, I know I was never a very good person, but I can't imagine what Lady Asford's done to bring all this on herself. Maybe that's the point. Maybe it's just the good ones that the world... that the shadow takes.
Well, that would rather explain why the three of us are in here, wouldn't it, Nar?
Yes.
Well, take her if we can. That's why we're here. Or the baby. They wanted her also for the baby.
I can't imagine what that witch would do with the child. What she'd want to do with the child.
She's trying to find Astrid's lineage.
What would that
I don't know
prove?
why. But it has something to do with with King Bard's throne. I think there were some things that Lady Astrid did not know about her heritage.
Well, if you ask me, we'd all be a lot better off without kings and thrones.
And certainly without Numenera sorceresses.
Right.
Are you up to travel? We should be going.
I can keep up.
Okay. If you have any idea which direction at this point, we're just going up.
There's really just the two directions in the tower, from what I know.
All right. Let's go.
Alternately, if you'd rather, you could stay here with our sleeping friend, and we'd come get you on the way back down when we're carrying loads and loads of loot.
I think I'll take my chances. Thank you very much.
Alright.
I'm quite finished with this cell.
And I'm
Okay.
afraid the tower might not be the same going down as it was going up.
Well, if I have to say anything, I'm done with the whole place. I'm ready to go back home and get some good food and some great wine. I'm starving.
Noe says to you, Nar, I told you we should just leave the rest of them. Angie left us.
It wasn't on purpose, mates. There was an orc who a dwarf napped me. But I stuck him right in the eye.
Right, because dwarves orcs are just known for going around and kidnapping dwarves for no reason, because we're all so tasty.
Warsong stepping out the door and heading on.
Okay.
The dwarves resort to fisticuffs.
The dwarves will literally just stand here and argue until the world is remade, if allowed to do so.
She doesn't register as it as it being an argument. This is just dwarves having conversations.
Arendelle is gonna return from the sky and return the missing Silmaril, and Morgoth is gonna be defeated in the final battle, and the dwarves will just still be standing here arguing. All right, so you continue higher up into the tower, and it is not long at all, especially compared to how long it has taken you to climb the tower up to this point. When you come to a sixth door.
Alright.
Engraved like the others, in heavy wood, with these stringed symbols carved in, and what appears to be the faint outlines of a tree with some birds in it. But as you look closer, you see that the tree is withered and that the birds have all died. And from the other side of the door, you can hear a faint humming sound.
Like someone humming, or like giant bees or something.
Like someone humming.
Rocking
Okay.
back and forth, holding her knees, humming.
Quite possibly.
Or her baby.
No,
Well, would you like me to check the door for traps?
that's your job, Nar.
Give me a search
Alrighty,
roll.
A search roll? Okay, hold on. Okay, search roll. TN 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ooh.
Nice.
All right. And
I'm
PJ,
awful good at voice.
PJ, don't
Yes.
forget that you can be checking off advancement points when you get great successes on things.
Oh, okay.
So it's
So
it's
that's
off to the row off to the right of the row that the skill is on. Has
uh-huh.
some little check like little radio buttons. And
Uh-huh.
I can't talk
Does
tonight.
that mean I gained some last night too?
Yeah. So well, you only get them when you succeed at common skills, and
And there weren't many
uh,
skill rolls.
yeah, there were many skill rolls last night. So the first time you
I
succeed
don't.
at a common skill in the adventuring phase, you can
Mhm.
check off. You can tick off the first box. The
Okay. Well,
second,
with that,
um,
with
so
my
so
I'm
search.
sorry.
Yeah. So let me finish. So you can tick off the first box. Um, you can tick off the second box if you succeed with a great success like the one you just got.
Uh-huh.
To tick off the third box, you need both a great success and it has to be you have to have an applicable trait that you can invoke. So your traits are like your distinctive features and specialties. So
Oh, okay.
so that skill was search, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we pull up your character sheet,
That would be the
um,
first box under perception.
yeah,
Perception. So I
yeah,
can do 2 off perception.
no, just one. So you
Just
do them
one.
in order, so that you do one the first time, and then if you did another search roll later at this adventure, and you got a great success, you could check out the second one. And advancement points are what you spend to. So you want to make sure you're checking those off as you earn them, because advancement points are what you spend to raise your skills. Your weapons and your valor and your wisdom, you can spend XP, but to raise your common skills, you need advancement points. All right.
Okay. So so like last night when I did the successful ambush and killed the leader of the Easterlings
Yep.
using battle, that would have been a point for one of my
Yeah.
common skills.
You would have gotten
Battle
an
roll.
advancement. Yeah, you would have gotten an advancement point for your battle roll. So like for the first vocation one, basically. So
Okay.
anyway, just going forward, something to make sure you're doing since you're new. And if you have questions about that, you can always let us know. All right, so yeah, you hear kind of a
And
No traps. No traps on the
Uh,
door.
doesn't seem trapped.
is
It
it locked?
it is not locked.
Okay.
That's a
Angi glances over at everyone and then pushes the door open.
that's a bit strange. The door staying unlocked when we've had to unlock all the doors.
All been locked.
The door opens, and as who's going in first?
I guess Angi was at the front, was checking the doors, and
Okay. Angi, as you step into the room, you see what appears to be a fairly comfortably furnished set of personal apartments. There's it's not posh, but it's comfortable. There is like what appears to be like a small place for embroidery set up and some half finished work. There's a table. There's even a small shelf in one corner with a few books on it. There is a large bed in one corner, and like a canopied bed with the curtains drawn. And sort of oddly, you also notice that there is an enormous carving knife just sort of set on the table in the middle of the room. And there are, on the floor, around the table, what appear to be large wood shavings. And you can hear the humming is still.
oh, carving knife like a wood carving knife.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah,
a meat carving knife. Okay.
yeah.
I was imagining like a butcher.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
That got dark.
And you can still hear the faint, just the.
Now, can we see who's making the sound?
You can't. It's coming from inside the bed, and the drapes are drawn.
I tap the haft of my hammer of my axe on the ground, my long hafted axe. Thump, thump, thump.
The humming stops for a moment and then resumes.
Warsong is coming in as well. Like, I don't know if we're assumed to be coming in, but Warsong is.
Well, I'm following right behind Andy.
Excuse me. Excuse me. We are looking for Lady Astrid and or the Morwen. We'd like to have a word with one or both of them.
The
Would you
humming
happen
the humming stops again for a moment and then resumes.
You're going to have to take a look off you.
I'm
War
pretty
song
sure
is
if I pop that curtain open, there's going to be something dead and awful in there. Probably somebody with like a wooden head who's carving on himself, and it's going to be horrible, and I'm never going to sleep again.
Andy,
Warsong is going to go pull the curtain aside.
Andy, whoever's humming, obviously does not like you. Just he or she is totally ignoring you right now.
Probably hasn't carved his ears yet.
Warsong, you step up to the bed and you pull the curtain back. And within you see a worn but clean, familiar blue dress.
Aww.
And huddled over a small bundle in her arms.
Aww.
Her hair wolf gray. Her face heavy with lines. You see Astrid rocking back and forth slowly. And as you open the curtains, she looks up at you and she says, "Simple golden king's cup, common though you be, you lift up not your head in pride, to grasp eternity.
Warsong's going to sing along with her.
But when your time has early come, you sit with grace and wait. You do not rest for things not yours, but dance through death's dark gate." She looks up at you. "He's sleeping."
We won't wake him.
He's not quite right.
I know.
Out of character, is it an actual baby she's holding, or is this?
It's a wooden carving.
Would you like to walk closer and look?
Not that we've seen it.
Well, I'd like. That's what I mostly wanted to confirm. I'm pretty sure it's a carved baby, but I wanted to make sure. Can I like step up next to Warsong and like lean a little in and take a look?
Yeah, it is a very crudely carved wooden doll. It's not quite right, but
He's a pretty baby.
I'm going to finish him. I'm going to finish him, and then it'll be all right. If I fix him, then they'll let me come back.
They'll let you come back? What do you mean?
I remember a place. I think it was a city on a lake, or maybe the lake was a sea of trees. I'm not sure, but I was happy there.
Son's dead.
And if I fix him, they'll let me come back.
We're going to take you back. He's beautiful. It's time.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Great. Great.
If
So obviously I can do it.
Could it be rude?
No, this is going to be persuasion.
Gotta be a Gandalf.
you're a hitter, you're a hunter,
Oh,
Wait,
that's Mar.
No, but it's Warsong's sheet.
Oh,
I just
okay.
haven't changed. I'll change your name to.
She shakes her head. No, you don't. You
Wait,
don't.
wait. Let me. Just a sec. Don't respond yet.
You spend a point of hope.
Let me see how my hope's doing. And if I can make it. Oh, persuade.
PJ, what's your craft at?
I'm getting a point of hope.
My craft is at 3.
Okay, so is mine. Okay. What is your specialties there also, PJ?
Well, I am favored in explore, song, and craft. In
Well,
stealth.
it's your specialties right at the top where it says
Smithcraft, mountaineer, and folklore.
okay.
Do you remember my husband?
I do.
I think he was a great king or something.
Lord Kaowina. He loves you. And he sent me for you.
Why did he send me away?
He didn't send you away. He loves you. He's going mad with grief in your absence.
Can I your ladyship, I'm a dwarf, and well, I don't know much about babies. I do know a bit about making things a little better, fixing things. If and you like, I could maybe help finish the little tyke.
Oh, You're saying that because you think I'm mad.
Oh no. Everybody should have a baby that a winsome little thing.
You don't understand. It's my punishment.
Your punishment?
It's my punishment. I wasn't good enough. You see. But if I can fix him, then
Well,
he'll have me back.
He?
Yes.
He will have you back? She's lied to you.
Oh, no. Not the lady. No, she knows. She knows all about everything.
What do you mean?
She told me. If I can fix it, then they'll let me go back.
Go back where?
Back to the town, on the
Lake?
lake or in the. Sometimes in my dreams, I think that the lake is a sea of trees.
I will take you there. I know the way.
But-
You're finished now.
What will the lady say?
She might not approve.
We can't. I wouldn't want to anger the lady.
I am here for you. I have served you for many, many years. as has Berthagoon.
Give me another persuasion roll.
Hey! It's a Gandalf, though, right?
It is a Gandalf. The slow, quiet sound of madness.
A little bit like Christmas jazz. A little bit of Michael Bublé.
Madness is just Michael Bublé on loop for 3 years.
Is it not setting the mood very well?
I've heard better music for setting moods, but yeah. What if... And you'll take me to him.
Yes. That is why I'm here. That is the whole reason.
All right. You have to bring my baby, though.
Yes.
Will we be going soon?
Now. Right away.
Good. I miss the forest and the water. Don't see much of either here.
We will take you home. Haven't been home in a long time.
Okay. All right.
Right.
She, for the moment, seems willing to follow you, Warsong.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Is
So
there anything else?
at this point,
Sorry, go ahead, Nar.
all right, I turn to Angie and say, "All right, so now that we got her, we need to round up everybody. Are we here?" He turns back to war. He turns to Warsong and say, "Is there anything else we're here for?"
I think somebody with a good search, which I'm not sure if that's me or not. Oh, I've got decent search. Okay. Room. She's not really expecting to find any signs of if there's anything in there. That's what she's searching for
Okay.
specifically.
Give me a search roll.
Anything that also belonging wise that Astrid might have had that would she might not remember to take with her.
Okay.
Well, Angi is.
Okay.
I mean, well,
Can I also search?
Sure.
I mean, okay, I'll do that. I have decent.
I think you just rolled stealth, Sophie. Not search.
Did I?
Oh,
Oh yeah, I've got a 2 in stealth and a 0 in search. So
Okay,
yeah, I
well.
was reading over one.
well, okay.
Nar, looking around the room, I mean, there's an kind of a very crude wooden crib that seems to kind of go with the doll, and there are a few other sort of like things here, most of which look like, like if they weren't so large, they'd be like the sort of toys that children in wealthy families would use to play house. But you don't see anything like any of Astrid's with jewelry or personal possessions. You don't see,
does anything look enchanted?
not as far as you can tell.
Okay.
While they're searching, Warsong's gonna pull Berthagoon aside.
Oh, my poor mistress. I had no
Yes.
idea it was this bad.
Berthagoon, do you have any idea where they might have put the baby? Once before, but
I don't know. They didn't let me out very often. I get the sense that the more when that the lady's not always here.
Mhm.
I haven't heard the child cry in weeks now. If she has him, she may have taken him somewhere else. But I don't know. This place is so big.
Right.
The Morwen always comes from upstairs, though.
Exactly. Angie
I
turns
see.
to Nar. Now, I know you'll be wanting to leave, you and Noe, which is fine if you want. But I'm thinking that now we've got a one and only chance to really, really get the Morwen's goat. So even if she isn't here, we can do something that she won't never forget. In fact, she'll probably come to us next time if she isn't here because she'll be so angry that right. But in any
I
case,
turn.
I
I turn.
this is our one and only chance to get a little bit of revenge. Which, if you remember how the old dwarfish values, that's pretty high on the list, if you ask me.
I turn back to Angie and say, "Yeah, I like the idea of that. Particularly seeing that I have no idea where my great axe is.
That is true. You don't know where any of your weapons are.
Well,
That the great axe was my
my
favorite weapon. So I'm sitting here without a great axe.
What was
And
that,
I'm
Jess?
mad.
She's telling me to pick and pick up the carving knife.
Oh,
So I'll reach out and tuck it into a.
okay.
I mean, we'll say this with an orc's eye. Well, you know.
I also say that I also remind him again about our the secret path to get
Right.
out of here in case we do have to make quick escape. It would also it would also be quite beneficial for the weaker ones, especially if we can avoid if that way will be way easier to get out and easier avoid detection leaving this place.
That's a good idea, but I haven't finished yet, and I don't think the lady Warsong or Rani or the rest of us are quite done until the Morwen is seeing at least a bit of our steel.
Or at least
So
put the baby in.
so
Right?
Warsong is going to pull
Right?
Warsong is going to pull Angi aside. She's gonna glance at, I guess, the drapes on the bed or something. Angi, you said you were as a dwarf and you're very good at crafting. Do you think you could make a pair of earmuffs really fast?
I mean, you could also just cut a piece of fabric and wrap it around someone's head.
Something like
So,
that will make it hard to hear.
I suppose.
It's for Lady Astrid.
All right.
Does that take a crafting roll?
It depends on what you want to do. I mean, there are some candles in the room, so you could probably use the beeswax from that if you wanted to.
Okay.
There are also, I mean, you could definitely, tear some strips of fabric and kind of wad them up. I wouldn't think it would need a crafting roll, no.
Okay. So Warsong's going to look to Astrid. Lady, you need to wear these.
Why?
We need to go a little farther in, and I don't know what's ahead. But you need to be able to focus on, and she's going to glance, almost without meaning to, down at the baby. You need to focus.
As you do that, give me an awareness roll.
Okay.
All of us, or just?
Just Warsong.
Just a sec, let me check. It might work on the rest of us, but we might need to hear.
I mean, we could also do the whole, dwarven hand signal thingy.
You wouldn't hear me.
All right, I'm aware.
Warsong, as you kind of glance down absent-mindedly at the doll, a bit of the fabric that was covering its face kind of has been pulled back, just accidentally. And what you see staring up at you is the most hideously carved goblinoid face. With the unmistakable sign of a rune M branded into its forehead.
Hey,
She should not be holding that baby.
I was gonna say, this might be it what we're looking for. You might want to take her out into the hall.
You haven't seen it, Angi.
Oh,
It's just Warsong because she stepped close.
Warsong's face is going to pale. Lady Aspen, do you remember Berthagoon?
Yes. Of course, she motions to Berthagund.
Do you remember how faithfully she served you?
Oh yes, she's never left my side. Through all of this.
Do you remember me?
Of course, your birdsong. You helped me save my husband.
Warsong. Yes. Will you trust me to carry the baby and keep him safe with
Oh, I couldn't let go. I couldn't let go of him.
while Berthagoon holds your hand and leads the way?
I couldn't let somebody else.
He's gonna glance at Berthagoon.
Berthagund kind of takes a very timid step forward. Astrid backs away from you. I couldn't let somebody else do that.
Why not?
The lady wouldn't like it. The lady wouldn't. It's my job to look after him now.
I understand.
She.
But you know you can trust me to
No,
always do the best.
no, you don't. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand.
I have followed you thus far.
You don't understand. It's not.
I won't leave you. baby.
You don't understand. She has him.
She has the baby.
She has the baby. She has him.
wait.
She has. She has Girion, and you may have to mute yourself for there, PJ. It's really hard for me to do this serious scene with a Holly Jolly Christmas going on in the background. She has Girion, and you don't understand her baby. It wasn't right. But if I fix him, then so you see he's my responsibility.
Lady,
Seriously, PJ, you gotta mute yourself.
Did I not move?
No, you did
Myself?
not.
Oh,
Thank you.
Sorry, man.
Lady, you are weak. And this burden is too heavy for you.
You won't let anything happen to it.
I'll take care of it.
Give me a persuasion roll.
This is the worst. She's so bad at persuade.
There's no fireplace. There is a small fireplace. There is also a window. It's like a small loophole.
Good, so someone for the smoke to go.
Even with point of hope, I'm at 13. She's only got a 6 that she can add.
She shakes her head slowly.
I don't suppose Ongi could try and convince her.
Probably not at this point.
Yeah.
Probably not
Didn't think-
somebody that she really
never
knows or
met.
trusts. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's Rainy?
I'll take you back, me.
Rainy could certainly try.
You want to try and persuade her to give you the baby?
What do you say, Rainy?
Has
Have to persuade
what do you have in persuade?
one.
That's better than Warsong 0.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, you could use on, like,
I don't think that
she
will
drops
work.
the baby.
Okay, what was the last thing that Warson said to her? The very last.
Tried to convince us.
The burden was too heavy, or something like that.
Said the more one wouldn't like it because she has for other baby. I guess Rani will. I guess the only thing we haven't tried, actually, persuasion-wise, is just sort of like physical suggestion. So Rani would step forward and smile reassuringly into her eyes and sort of put her arm like this and put under the baby's head and on her shoulder and say, you might not realize it now, but you really do, need me to hold your baby for you now.
Give me a persuasion roll.
TN14?
Yep.
Oh.
No! You don't happen to have a 7 that you can add to that, do you?
Plus, if she can get a 12 if she. It's not favored, so no.
Yeah.
She just kind of shakes her head at both of you and she says, I think I'd better hold on to him for now.
So, out of character question, does she actually think? So she says that the lady has her baby. Yet she thinks this is her baby.
Are you asking
not-
Is that
me?
what I'm trying to clarify. Is that what was actually said?
Yeah. She said that the Morwen had her baby, Girion,
Okay.
and that this wooden baby she's responsible for, and if she gets it right, she will be taken back to him, which, with the timing of the conversation, Warsong took to mean taken back to him, as in back home to either the sea or the trees and Lord Kaowina. But she never said which him, so it might be if she fixes the wooden baby, she gets to go back to her baby. We don't really know that part. But she doesn't think it's the real baby, but she is 100% responsible for it and afraid of what will happen if she doesn't fulfill her responsibilities and fix the baby, which she is.
Gotcha. Okay, so she doesn't even actually think it's her baby.
No, but she may think that if it's damaged or hurt, that the Morwen who has her baby out of her reach might hurt the baby.
Gotcha. Okay.
So she would protect it as if it was a baby.
That makes sense.
Could we persuade her to allow us to fix the baby for her?
You guys have pretty much exhausted your persuasion avenue at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that if yeah, and short of basically tackling her and stealing the baby, I don't think this is going to happen.
What are you guys doing?
I'm not sure if we can get her out without taking the wooden baby with us, unless she's unconscious. But at the same time, I don't know what the baby does. Like, is this a tie to the Morwen that's keeping her enchanted?
Is this like a voodoo baby that's tied to real baby?
Could we possibly? Would it be riddle or would it? Would it be riddle or would it be awe to try and convince her that the Morwen wants us to her to hand off the baby?
That'd be riddle.
Well, I wonder if one of our dwarf friends who's been in.
Oh no, you're not gonna convince me to talk to the crazy woman.
Shut up, Noe. Nobody's asking you to do nothing.
The dwarves are for the dwarves, is what I say.
Nice.
I read that somewhere.
Nice.
Lady asked.
What were you?
Go ahead, Dar.
What were you saying, Angie?
Well, Lady Astrid, my dwarf friends and I, would you believe us that maybe we've been sent by the lady herself to help you with your baby and make him, fix him, get him up to snuff, and then so you can go back.
Give me a riddle roll at TN16.
Okay.
Which is actually 8 for you because you add 8 to everything.
Not the custom
Not
rolls.
custom skills. Oh.
Oh!
Okay, is there any fellowship left in the fellowship pool?
I don't know. Let me check.
I've got 3 on my paper, but that may not be
I
it.
have 3 on mine too, but I don't know if that's.
Can I spend it to
I'm okay with you suspending one. I now have 2 on my sheet.
Either way, I'm fine with you spending one.
Alright, you okay with spending it? Okay. Spending it. Alright, so that gets me up to a 4, so that gets me to a 19.
She looks at you kind of uneasily. All right. But the lady did say it was my job.
Well, it's the people, it's every time to time. You need help with the job. You know what they say, it takes a village to raise a child. Or in my case, of mine. But,
What was that,
What?
Jess?
She wants me to be quiet before you make me roll again.
I mean, you just have to realize it's very important that I do this right. Because if I don't...
Not I. But you're absolutely right, my lady. That's why she sent the dwarves.
And you'll...
Master craftsman we is. You know that. Everybody knows that.
I just don't know, Narvi, because you're always so stubborn.
Yeah, I am.
And what if... I mean...
Maybe I'll pick up a bit of spine while I was in my care, Some of that stiff neck of the dwarves.
What are you going to do to his neck?
Not a thing. I will support it like you're supposed to.
Give me one more riddle roll.
Also a TN16?
Yep.
They're even different numbers. All right. Or two more in the fellowship pool.
Is that okay if I burn one more? I also do have 1 point of courage. Can I just, you want me to spend that in case we need a fellowship? Yeah, let me go and burn my courage for that instead. So that gets me up to 19 again.
All right. She looks at you very uneasily. And eventually, she hands you the doll. Also, you gain 1 point of shadow for telling a deliberate lie.
Well, alright.
I mean,
Look at me, 1 point away from misery. All for the cause.
All right.
Now what do we do with it?
Lady.
Make it beautiful, Angie. You know how to do this.
That's right.
You're a dwarf. You have it deep within you.
Motherhood?
Nara is apparently still taking this quite seriously.
Oh, well, I hold him up against my shoulder and pat him. Can I tell anything about this thing beyond the fact that it's a horrifying doll?
It is terrifying, and it stinks of dark magic.
Well, and all right, so
Let's head out of the room.
okay, but I'm just okay.
Warsong is going to take the lead with Rainy and Berthagoon and Lady Astrid, and the dwarves will be last.
All right.
that's what we use.
Where's Neff staying at? Neff Stan, isn't he part of this group?
No. Neff's,
No.
you're thinking of Borlad,
No.
but he's unconscious.
Yeah, Borlad is. I guess.
There is Elstan. Yeah, Elstan has just been kind of standing by,
Thank you.
watching.
Oh yeah.
Elstan's been watching the door this whole time.
Thanks, Ilsa. All right. So while you guys are heading up, I look at my dwarven friends. So, if you know any good bits of law to take dark magic off of a horrifying wooden door,
I'm a dwarf. I craft things. I have smith crafting. What would make you think that I know anything in magic?
oh, I mean, there's a bit of a magic around every forge. We know that.
Oh, I say, if you're gonna go to all that trouble, we may as well just smash it now. Throw it in the fire. Be done with it.
Now, no, I would say smashing and burning is always the way to go, except that I think it might be tied back to an actual baby, which would be smashed and or burned should we go that route.
Boy, you're quite gloomy.
Well, I mean,
Let's try and think a little more positive here.
Is there
I'm
any
a shit on that foot.
on Astrid? He's farther away from it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do we see any actual change with Astrid's demeanor as I'm carrying this thing?
Not at the moment.
All right.
She seems to be following fairly meekly. What's that, Jess?
With my shadow lore, would I have any hesitations about Angie holding it for too long or anything like that?
You definitely. I mean, this is the kind of thing that has some kind of a charm or a spell wound about it, and you don't exactly know the nature. It's not like there's like a book with all the most common spells in it, for instance. But it definitely, I mean, like I said, this thing stinks of dark magic. Like, there's no telling what effect prolonged exposure might have.
All right, so we're gonna play hot potato with the baby.
Hot potato.
Every minute, it goes to another one of the dwarves. Back and forth.
Are we not burning it in the fire?
I would very much like to, but I'm afraid that might kill an actual baby, which killing babies is out of my bailiwick.
Is that a thing?
Is there
Like, is that
anything we
something that happens? Is there any precedent for that in the Lord of the Rings? Of the doll?
Can I roll insight to see if I?
It wouldn't be insight, but you could try lore.
Oh, can I roll lore?
Sure.
I was gonna say, let's all roll. If we get any eyes, we'll just deal with it. All right. So, Jet, what's the T on that? This is Ranny.
14.
Warsong. Oh, Ranny. All right. I'm gonna.
Warsong could make hers with application of things.
I do get +9 to mine. Well, actually, +10 at this point, and it's not a custom, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll this.
Yeah.
So, in 14. Okay, I make that.
Yeah.
You've never heard of anything like that before.
All right. In that case, I am going to go. This is a terrible idea. I am going to take this horrifying little thing. I am going to sneak back into the room and. No, mate. You and Noe, watch the door. I'm going to burn this thing.
Finally.
I'm saying. That's right. Finally, we're going to kill a baby somewhere else on Middle Earth.
I say, while you're at it, we just set the whole tower on fire and don't tell the others.
We'll tell them first, but we're definitely going to do that.
Hey, I'm all for setting this whole place on fire. I just want to be
Alright, I
out of
gather
it before we set it on fire.
I gather up a bunch of the wood shavings from the carving and some of the other little baby toys and things, and I make a little pyre, and I use my flint and steel, and I light this thing
Cool.
using a little fabric and everything.
There's
Somebody say
already fire in the room, right?
horribly, and this is horrible.
There's a fireplace, but it didn't have a fire in it at the time. So,
Oh.
all right. Angi and Nar, I need each of you to give me a corruption test.
Here we go.
Wisdom or valor?
Wisdom.
What's the TN?
17.
Ooh. I'll probably be gaining a point of shadow from this, but oh well.
Or two.
It can be worse than a point of shadow.
Crap.
Whoops, not 1,417.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
Yeah. Wow.
Nara's like, oh, just falls on the floor, starts crying.
So, Angi, as you take the doll and you set it ablaze, it goes up like dryer lint. It burns like a month-old Christmas tree. The flames crackle and consume it. And as they do so, you seem to hear a piercing rend the air of the room. As this dark bilious smoke begins to fill the room from the fireplace, both you and Nar stagger back, nearly overcome by the sheer stench of the thing. You both gain a point of shadow.
That's miserable.
And out in the hallway, Asfrid begins to scream. What have they done? What have they done? What are they doing? What? No! 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 And as she
Close the door now.
as she covers her eyes to weep, her fingers begin to curl inward on her eyes, and blood begins to stream down her face. As you pull back your hands from her face, her nails are covered in blood as she'd begun to attempt to scratch her own eyes out. She thrashes, almost like somebody almost like someone having a seizure. And it lasts for 3 or 4 minutes till finally exhausted. She lies still on the ground. Breathing still. PJ, you've got an airplane or something in your background there. Breathing still, but unresponsive. Her skin is cold and clammy.
I've got all the noises back here.
Yep. Her skin is cold and clammy. Her eyes are open.
But her pulse, and she's breathing.
Yep. She's not responsive.
Are we out of the room now?
This is about the
She
time
was
that...
in the hall.
Yeah, she was in the hall. This is about the time that Borlad wakes up.
Well, I mean, is Nara and I out of the room now?
Sure. If you want to be.
Yes. I don't like spending the time around a lot of black, dangerous magic smoke.
I'm going to make sure this thing is completely destroyed, though. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, it burns. It finishes burning about the same time that Astrid finally goes still.
Okay. All right. All right. In that case, I'm getting out of this freaking room.
I am too. I'm getting out and suggesting that we leave the castle.
As you step out of the room, Angi, you glance back over your shoulder at the fireplace one more time as the smoke seems to hover in the air, twisted and contorted into a horrible grin before a bit of a breeze catches it from the window and just blows it to soot. And the room is drab and gray, the mattress a pallet of dirty straw.
So knew that would be late.
The floor bare stones. The table an old stump. And it is empty.
What about the carving knife?
Carving knife is still a carving knife.
Unless it's my belt.
That's why I was asking.
Does it have a rune M on it?
Not that you've noticed.
Dang
He's looking at the knife.
You don't see any rune M's.
Keep it tiny.
How much fellowship pool do we have left?
One.
2.
Okay.
What? I didn't spend the other one. I spent the point of courage.
Oh, so 2.
Yep, 2.
Okay, 2.
For some reason, mine's hyped up to 11.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's not right.
Yeah, this is 11. That would be amazing.
So the at this point Borlad wakes up and he kind of looks around and yawns and he says, "Oh, you know, I was having the nicest dream. There was a banquet and there's a beautiful woman and she had just offered me a cup of wine. And you," and he points a finger at you, Angi, "you turned into a holly bush, I think."
Well,
Yes, well, you drank some old wine that was really old and had mold, and you was eating off moldy bread and all that good stuff. So, yeah, no, you were feasting on a very terrible feast there, poor lad.
I'm glad you're awake. I wasn't able to get you awake. I was able to break the spell on the others. And myself.
When did we pick up the extra pessimistic dwarves? Where are we?
big man. All right, this is my mate. This
Near
is
the top of Morwen's castle.
Right, we also picked up some ladies.
This is Astrid.
We're
Oh.
having a.
I don't
grand
understand. I thought we were just leaving Dale.
No.
Well, I guess that's between. I envy your ability to forget the entire dang trip.
Does he seem like there's any lingering effects now that he's awake?
He certainly seems to have lost his memory of everything that happened since you left Dale.
But he
Which is okay. I still know what we're here for.
He's definitely seems kind of mentally checked out.
All right. Can you still swing your sword?
I suppose.
Do you know who the Mormon is?
Right, the witch that we've come to kill.
Right,
Right.
alright. So,
It looked a lot like the dark-haired lady in your dream, who served you wine.
But she was very... Oh, I see.
Very pretty.
I see.
I'll bet underneath all the makeup.
Right. Well, just between you and I think that you shouldn't eat any of the food here.
Good idea.
No. Kiddie boy.
Really? What would have made you think that?
Just a hunch. That's always the first rule. Don't eat the food.
We were just having a friendly gathering here in this tower. What could possibly go wrong?
Right, we picked up some of my dwarf kin, some of my mates, my homies, and some ladies, and we're going to a soiree at the top of this thing. It's going to be killer.
It's gonna be a killing. I have yet to find my great axe, though, so...
Elstan kind of tugs at your elbow, Ranny, and says,
It's happening.
"Do your friends always make this much noise?
Say that one more time.
Do your friends always make this much noise when they travel?"
At least this one does.
I see.
So, are we going... Did we agree that we were going up?
Always.
Astrid will have to be carried at this point.
Poor lad,
War song.
strong shade man. Make yourself useful. Scoop up the lady, Astrid.
War song's carrying Astrid.
Okay.
Alright, but we are going to need your axe.
Gives you a look.
You spaced out a little bit, but I think we got the gist of it.
All I heard was it gives you a look, which I think we got.
All right, so are we continuing upwards?
Yes.
We are continuing
All
upwards
right.
to slay a goat, I think.
Okay, real quick.
Slay a goat.
That's what I heard from Angie.
Ye who knowest all the rules, is there any way to clear shadow at all while walking up some stairs?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Not unless the stairs are named Fellowship Phase and are a metaphor for the Fellowship Phase, which they are not.
Yeah. You
Well,
were
being
saying-
if it's any contour, my character Berard has 3 hope left, and it has a total shadow of 7.
I have all my hope, all 12 of them, and 12 shadow.
So you're miserable.
I'm miserable, yes.
One
I'm
eye.
miserable for everything to go down. All right. Okay.
All right.
So let's go.
You continue up the stairs. You walk for 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 minutes. It's hard to be sure anymore. And at this point, you're not even sure. When you look at the occasional windows that you pass, it appears to be dark outside, but you're not sure if that's real or if it's the storm that was outside the castle or if it's the night or the next night or the night after that. You really begin to lose track. But after a long while, you come to the very top, and unlike each of the other landings, before it was always landing and more stairs going up. But here, the staircase finally terminates after hundreds, maybe thousands of steps, you're not sure, in front of a door.
This is where we're gonna make Lady the Morwood mad at us.
Right.
Well, should we maybe check the door then? Do your thing there.
I can most certainly check the door. I'm good at checking doors.
You
then
find the door is locked.
Is it trapped? Are the gargoyles spewing flames?
Give me a search roll.
Are there carvings?
There are carvings. As usual, you don't recognize them. But the door, instead of being made of the same kind of like heavy wood and iron, appears to be crafted out of something smooth and white, perhaps bone or ivory.
TN 14.
Uh-huh.
Dun, dun, dun. I hope I press search.
Yeah.
I made
That's
a
what I'm
great
talking about.
success.
Doesn't appear to be trapped, but it is locked.
Check it off. Don't forget
All
to
right.
check
Yeah,
your
yeah. Now you can check off that second
Also,
advancement point.
at some point, I need to roll what's in my pockets, just because.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Can I unlock this thing
You can
without kicking it down?
you can certainly try. This is a very elaborate. Instead of like the crude padlocks on the previous doors, like this is an intricate, elaborate lock that's actually built into the door. So give me a craft
Okay.
roll.
All right. I am a burglar, so can I use that?
Normally, yes. This is going to require a little something extra. Like
All right. What's the TN on this?
TN will be 16.
15. All right.
Plus
Plus
two.
my 12, so that's a
Plus 12.
27. Can I get this lock open?
27.
Yeah.
45, rather.
You take it takes you a couple of minutes, Angi, but at last you are able to spring the mechanism and the door, and it swings open without a sound. Who's going in?
Is it double doors? A single door?
It's a single door.
And about what? 2 feet wide? 4 feet? 5 feet wide?
Yeah, 3 feet maybe.
All right. Well, Ongi is armored and has a large axe. Randy, you want to come with me?
I'll come in
Alright.
behind
Rachel
you.
would not be the first
on
thing because she's carrying Lady Astrid.
Right. Exactly. So Ongi and Randy, and then Nar, and then I assume Elston, Borlad, and then the ladies in the rear.
All right. As you step inside the room, you enter a series of what appears to be lavish apartments. There are books strewn about with a kind of wealth and profligacy that none of you have ever seen before. There is what appears to be a crib and a series of small golden toys, like a golden rattle and a golden ball, and a number of toys you recognize as being of dwarven craft, like magical puzzle boxes and a small clockwork dragon.
Sell at Lake Town.
Angie,
All the sorts of things they
I
sell.
don't like what I see.
All the sorts of things they sell, for instance, at the market pool in Lake Town or the fabulous toy market of Dale, but much, much nicer. You
I
see
don't like what I see, Angie.
an enormous lavish bed with silver and silk thread comforters and pillows and cushions kind of liberally around the room. There's a low table where it looks like a board would be set, but it's currently empty. There is what appears to be a writing desk off in one corner, and you notice that as opposed to some of the other books that are sort of strewn about the place, there on the writing desk there is what appear to be much older works, most of them scrolls. And then sort of in the middle, and it's all very neatly organized, in the middle there's a small inkwell which is currently closed, and a set of pens, and a knife for sharpening the pens. And there are a stack of parchments. Most of them look like they're incomplete works of some kind that are sort of laid about the desk in various states of completion.
Is there a Morwin or a baby or anything else alive in this room?
Give me an awareness roll.
Of course. Someone else want to? Well, actually,
I
awareness.
can. But you
Alright.
have plus 12.
Yeah, that's true. What's the TN on this?
Did you want me to try?
No, I got this. TN 16, Richard, or what? TN?
14.
Okay. You're sitting over there stroking your beard. It's getting creepy. All right, so that's a 17. It's okay, man. One of these is gonna turn to an eye, and it's gonna go really bad. So you just.
Angi, you look about the room, and doesn't seem like there's been anyone here for a while.
Yeah.
I
Alright,
tell Angie that we need to burn it because this is all fake.
is it well? That's not a
But we need
not.
to burn it anyway.
Well, let's not burn it yet. But isn't he what? Can we tell if it's enchanted?
Give me an insight roll.
All right. Randy's gonna try this first because she has.
Go for it, Ranny.
14.
Yeah, you guys are rolling well tonight anyway. It'll be fine.
Oh,
Heck,
See?
now we are.
There we go.
Ranny, you kind of walk over and kind of rub your hand across the bedspread. You feel the silk for the first time in your life. The smoothness of the silk sheets between your fingers feels real enough to you.
She looks around at all of you in surprise and says, "This isn't an illusion. This must be where the Morwen resides when she's here."
Well, shall we burn the bed down and just destroy everything?
Well, no.
I'm less worried about the bed as the papers.
Well, right. And if we can figure out what the next move is, or where she is, or anything before we just start burning everything down. Also, I think there's a whole basement full of prisoners, and if we burn the whole tower down, then none of the prisoners are going to make it out of here alive, along with our secret tunnel exit.
That is true. So we'll burn it from the exit. Then we
Oh, there'll be some serious burning going on here now. You better believe it.
Warsong's going to examine the papers
Yeah.
and see if there's anything that looks.
Give me a lore test to see if you can read them. Oh, we don't have any scholars in the group, do we?
Oh.
Do you want? Do I spin for that, or?
She has a bunch of lore. She has shadow lore and Anduin lore and beast lore.
This would be more like old lore or some kind of ancient languages, things like that.
Folk.
would folklore.
Nah, this is gonna be more old lore.
Oh, okay.
Like this is not written in tongues which are currently spoken by men in Middle Earth.
Do we know anybody's languages besides like Gandalf and
Yeah, we should take them with us.
the
Yeah.
Brown?
Borlad might know these languages.
Ooh. Shade man.
Sorry, I was just
Royal lineages.
thinking about that dream.
Yeah, but there was silk sheets in that too. Now look at this.
He's got lore. He's got lore of Arnor. So let me see if he can make a roll.
You...
Oh no!
Stop thinking about silk sheets.
Dang. He looks at it and he kind of squints a bit, and his lips move a bit as he's trying to read it, and he says, "It's very clearly some form of a high speech, but it is a mode which is unfamiliar to me."
Okay. Warsong. Well, I don't think she's actually put Asprid down. Anyway, somebody should scoop up anything that looks like they could take it to somebody later to read, but everything else needs to be burned.
Can we tell what any of the books are? Are they like books of dark magic, or are they like histories? Are they like lineages?
If you could read them, you might be able to tell. There is one sheet of paper, like of one of the unfinished manuscripts, which are written in just that. You can't read it, but it is the most beautiful handwriting that you have ever seen.
All right.
One of them does look like it's some kind of a family tree, and there are a number of books arranged around it that look like they might be, maybe source material, but that's just best guess.
Can we bring those with us? Would that be too cumbersome?
Who's carrying?
Okay.
Well, I can carry plenty of stuff because I have no encumbrance literally right
You
now.
don't have anything.
Right, you have
no,
my
I've
short
got-
sword, which weighs what? That
So
weighs
if you're carrying the books, they will
one.
if you want to carry just basically all the books and the papers that were on the desk, it will be 2 encumbrance to just sort of
Oh, I
wrap
can
all
do
that
that.
up and bag it and carry it.
Okay, yeah, I can do that because that'll only put me at 7 encumbrance.
Randy, do you
Alright,
want to
so we'll
do it or
let
you want
Doc
him to do
carry
it? Okay.
How would I do? I just put that up under gear.
Yeah, put it in their gear. Just say you've got books and manuscripts. 2 encumbrance.
Are there any trophies in the room? Like maybe great battle axes?
Trophies? Not that you can see.
Maybe under a pillar.
Would that be like search
Mhm.
or
Give me a search roll.
that search?
I can't. I'm fairly good. I'll do the search roll. I've been doing fairly well.
Um,
Come on, baby. Is TN 14?
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun. I
Woo.
rolled a success.
there we go. On the money.
Nar, as you start looking about the room, you kind of gather up the books and things into a bag, sling them over your shoulder. You start looking about the room, and you notice like there's a couple of like old hunting trophies over the fireplace and things like that. As you kind of look up at one, you kind of reach up and you touch the antlers, and you kind of turn it to one side, and the whole fireplace just begins to.
Arr! Yeah!
And as this yawning black crack opens in the wall before you, you can see the gleam of metal shining out, shining at you out of the darkness.
What kind of metal?
Is my axe in there?
What
Is my
kinds of
great
metal are there? Pretty much all of them.
I mean, are they spikes aimed at us in a trap as the arrows are suddenly released and impaling
How
us?
did you get to be so jaded, Sophie?
Oh, I'm over here thinking. No, you
Metal
look.
comes in a bunch of forms, and not all of them are conducive to continued
It looks
health
like
and
gold.
existence.
You see gleams of light off of gold and silver and iron and steel.
Do we have any torches to light so we can see in this dark place?
I assume you guys brought torches.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna light one so I can see what's in there.
All right, so you take a torch, light up, step inside. Why don't you all roll 3d12 for me?
3d12.
I slap Noe on the back and
Um,
say, "So, if we just walked out of here, we wouldn't have had none of this."
I do want to say before I roll that she would not take Lady Asford in there.
Okay,
Like
that's fair.
she's probably standing more at the
Sure.
door.
Well, Elsan's here too. He can keep watch over her.
Nar,
And Borlad.
you beast.
Okay, hey, can I just keep that 12 and just roll 2 more 2ds?
You just keep the 12 and you don't need to roll again.
oh,
Yeah, no,
okay.
because you basically just found some magical treasure.
So I will explain treasure rolls in a moment. So
Alright. Well, okay. And this is for Rennie. There we go. Oh man.
okay. Nar. It's beginner's luck with treasure rolls. All right, so PJ, the way that magical treasure works in the One Ring, it's not like other games or even like Dark Souls where like you're gonna just pick up magical equipment. Like most characters may never see a single item of magical treasure in their lives. But when you do come across a hoard, a magical treasure hoard, hoards have a rating, which is how likely you are to find something magical in them. So when you come across a hoard, you get to roll 1d12 for each rating. So this is rated 3, which is really unusually high. So each of you get to roll 3d12, and then if you roll an 11 or a 12 on a d12, you have found an item of treasure. Now you haven't necessarily found a magical weapon yet. There's still a couple of steps. So, how much XP, unspent XP, do you have? Which will basically just be for last session. How much XP did I give you guys last session?
I got 1 unused experience.
One?
Did I give out 1 or 2 last session?
I thought it was 2. Oh wait, no, he's right. We had 1 because
We didn't
That's right.
accomplish anything major.
Okay, so you're probably not going to get a magical weapon out of this then. But
Oh,
basically the way it works is you wager any unspent XP that you have against and you roll that many d6s. For every one that comes up a 6, you find an item of great worth. If you get 2 that come up with 6s, which won't be possible for you, then you have the option to find a magical item. Now, if you don't roll any 6s, then you just find something of great worth that will basically be worth a fortune when you get back to civilization. But none of it is. But none of it will be like. But it won't be a magical item. So, everyone.
So like this treasure, could it be like anything from like just lots of gold to like a special weapon or something like that?
You will find out. Roll a d6.
All right.
Yes,
well, I'll
it
do
could
that.
be. It could be a piece of jewelry. It could be a lesser magical item with a blessing, like a magical ring, for instance. It could also be a weapon of great worth.
And you said a D6?
Uh huh.
Dun, dun, dun. I got a 3.
Okay, so you don't find anything magical, but you do find a precious object.
And he gets to keep his XP, right? Because it wasn't a 6.
Right. Yeah. So you don't actually have to spend your XP. All right. Well, you find.
Oh, okay. What do I find?
Looking it up.
Nar.
Yes.
As you step in, the light of your torch flickers and catches on a perfect green crystal necklace. And what most of you notice is that there's not actually a lot of treasure in here by comparison. Like, just based on what you would normally expect to find, there's not actually a lot of treasure in here. But everything that is in here seems to have been chosen for perhaps some specific sentimental value or some, because it's a really good example of what it is. And your eye lights on a necklace, which you just sort of pick up and casually slip around your neck. You have found a green crystal necklace made by the elves of Beleriand in the Elder Days. It is worth
crystal necklace.
It is worth 100 treasure.
What?
yeah, that's crazy, man.
That's a lot.
That's
Like,
like more.
you
the
can
most
be,
valuable
you
thing
can
right
go
now.
home. That might be the most valuable piece of
Yeah.
like. Now, obviously, like a weapon of great worth or something like that has a value that is like intrinsic beyond mere monetary value. But as far as like basic monetary value, that is the holy crap.
Yeah, no. We got normal friend. Don't you go about your axe. When we get home, we're gonna go. We'll sell this off because we have to. You can't be seen wearing this thing around. You'll be robbed in a minute. But we will take you down to Anvil Way, and we will buy you the nicest axe you've ever seen. I mean, it will cleave goblins like butter and trolls like bread.
All right.
like that.
Because I
like
read
that.
rules and strategize, I want to put this in perspective for you. If you survive and get it out of there, and your next fellowship phase, you do drum up support, and then your next fellowship phase, you raise your standing with a discount. Like after drum up support, you raise your standing. You can attain the highest standing, a standing of 6, and have 58 gold left.
You can basically become a great dwarven lord. You could go reclaim the Grey Delve.
King Bard is 6.
Right.
Oh wow.
You could be King Nar of the Grey Delve if you really wanted to.
And you would have 58 gold left.
You just
could-
have
I
to
could-
make it out alive, which not to dampen anybody's moods. But you have stepped into the treasure hoard
Right.
of the Morwen. And although the gems and the gold that is piled here is quite lovely and fair to behold, the air is foul with long ages of brooding. And I am going to need you all to give me a corruption test.
What's the TN?
Uh-oh.
TN is 16.
Uh-oh.
Alright. That was actually Angie that just made that roll.
Nice.
Wisdom,
Stand
I
by.
assume.
Wisdom, yes.
Alright, this is Rennie. I'll make sure it's correct this time.
So now if I roll a Gandalf, is that an automatic success?
Yes.
Which I did not roll a Gandalf.
Rennie also makes it.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the hunt at right now, by the way?
I think I'm going to spend a point of hope on mine so that I lose hope instead of gaining shadow.
Okay. If you failed, you gain 3 points of shadow.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you failed, you gain 4 points of shadow.
4 points. I
If
guess a
you
great
succeeded, you gain 1 point of shadow.
Oh.
I
Well,
guess would a great success be able to cover anybody?
Nope.
Nope. Well, yeah.
Now, the other 3 of you who didn't find a crazy, crazy necklace, all 3 of you need to roll me a d12.
Alright. This is for me, sweetheart.
Gee.
War Song.
Oh, Rodney.
War Song, you pick up a small, delicate... All right. War Song, you pick up a small... actually, I guess I should just be using your rolls from earlier is what I should be doing. So hold on. Let me just do that.
But I just got a 12, mate.
Yeah, but... Yeah, I should have been using your rolls from earlier. So War Song, you pick up a string of lustrous pearls, which is pretty crazy because you've never actually seen... You've heard about pearls. You've heard like songs with like the beauty of beautiful women compared to pearls. You've never seen pearls before. But you pick up a string of lustrous pearls as you are moving through the Morwen's vault. It is worth 20 treasure.
Cool.
Nice.
Angi, you pick up a lordly chain of gold, which
Right.
bears upon it the emblem of an ancient king of the Numenorians. You're not sure which one is depicted, but you definitely recognize like the iconography and the carving.
A lordly gold. Okay.
It is also worth 20 treasure.
Nice. I can dig it.
And Ranny, you find a jeweled sword hilt. Not a sword, just the hilt, as though perhaps the sword was broken, or maybe the hilt was made and it was just never attached to a blade. But it is a finely jeweled sword hilt, the likes of which you can't even imagine one of the Beornings ever wearing. It is also worth 20 treasure. Like, this is the kind of hoard that fortunes are made. Possibly sanity is lost, but fortunes are made. And as you're kind of all moving through the vault, you look up at the torch and you see the light of the torch flicker and flare a bit as a wind moves past you from the open door in the fireplace to another chamber beyond.
Oh, well, I guess we better check in there. No harm in.
I don't know how far Warsong would be going from Astrid.
It's all right. Ongi and the dwarves, we will look in here.
So
Right.
as you say that, Noe steps forward and he kind of motions you aside, Angi. Look,
What's it, Noe?
we always know the witch had a secret passage out of here.
And this is it.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure this is just part of it.
From the top of tower down to the bottom.
Right. No, what I'm thinking is, while all the tall folk are back there chatting up about their discoveries, the three of us can get out of here.
And why wouldn't we be taking the tall folk?
They'll only slow us down. You saw that one with the dog, how she insists on carrying everyone everywhere. Look, if they're not strong enough to carry themselves, I haven't got time for them.
Well, Noe, you're welcome to go down by yourself, if you like. But for my part, and I can't speak for now, but for my part, I've got to stay with my mates.
What's happening to your voice?
It's sort of changing, isn't it?
It's that time when I hit about 150 or so. The dwarf lady started looking a lot better to me too then.
Is that when you start to be able to tell?
Oh, you can always tell. It's the beards. Theirs are so much softer.
Oh, I don't even want to know you knew this, Noe. Alright, well, as I said, now, for starters, I'm guessing that when we get down below, there's going to be a small, maybe not small, a bit of an army waiting for us. If nothing else, a bunch of angry heads are going the entire time, and I don't want to be dandy by myself. Oh, and no offense, with a couple of emaciated, pooped out dwarves with one short sword between the two of you.
Well, that's all fine for you to say, but I plan on getting my axe back.
Right, but where is it now?
Right, it's right over there. And he points to a corner where there appear to be a number of weapons piled.
Is my great axe over there?
Your axe is there. Astrid's bow is there.
Yes. Yes. I got it rock.
Noe's axe is there. And there are a few other like miscellaneous swords and things like that. Things that have been confiscated from
Is there any armor
tower
over there?
guests at various points in time. There are a couple of shirts of trying to remember now. Hold on, let me look. I don't think there's any armor over there.
Are there arrows with the bow?
Okay, there's no armor. There's a quiver of arrows.
Is this within sight of where Warsong is?
Not quite.
Or is it too far?
Yeah, it's too far. Noe walks over, picks his axe up, and turns towards the other door, and he says, "Fine, suit yourself, but I'm not going to let myself be slowed down by the likes of these." And he starts trudging off towards the door.
Just don't make too much racket when you die.
He opens it, yeah, the far door. And as he pushes it open, it kind of moves on rusty hinges, and you can see a series of steps leading down into darkness. And he kind of shoulders his axe, and he says, "Good luck." He starts.
Remember you, mate. If you survive, we'll have a drink in that one that we're not supposed to be in Dale, right? Then we'll go to the,
Hey, if we survive.
then we'll go up to the Lonely Mountain and we'll pawn off Noel's necklace and make him a king, and then we'll go off to the Dale with Molly, and then we'll take it back, maybe kill some dragons, and here, Bob's your uncle.
Right, well,
So-
my uncle's name is actually Frar, but as you say.
Well,
Uh,
mine too, I think.
He turns
Maybe.
and he starts walking down the stairs, and you can just hear the sounds of like low dwarven singing as he goes.
So now you said
We don't
my
hear-
my
I
great ex
am
is
a
also over
dwarf,
there.
and I'm digging a hole, diggy hole. What was that? Yes, your great axe was also there, Nar.
Okay, so I guess I need to.
It should already be on your sheet.
Oh yes, it's on there, but
All right.
oh,
I'm gonna step out into
Okay.
the main room and get the tall one's attention. So, there's a few bits of equipment back in here if any of you want some. I think there's a bow, really nice one from what it looks like, and some arrows, and some other stuff, and
There's
also
the secret
secret
passage.
door. Right, which Noe has so kindly offered to scout for us. By himself.
As in, he's leaving. He's tired of us, but let him suit himself. Hey, Richard,
Yep.
my green crystal necklace. Does that take up any encumbrance?
No.
That's
Okay,
the wonderful thing about finding jewelry.
nice. Okay.
So are we going through the passage or going back down?
Is there any reason why we should go back down?
We're
Well,
not.
we got everybody here, so I mean, it'd probably be best we try not to track back our steps, but to keep going forward as much as possible.
All right.
What's behind you, but you don't know what's ahead.
Oh, Noe goes back. I mean, not Noe. Angie goes back and
But
steals the silk sheets.
All right. You pull the silk sheets. You have some
Astrid-
silk sheets. What's that?
so we're going through the door? Just to clarify?
I think so.
I
Yes.
think so.
Okay.
That's what I would
So
do. As far as
Song's going to go back and pick up Lady Astrid, and she's also going to scoop up the golden puzzle toy and stick it in her bag.
Okay.
Like
Nor-
it's small, right? Little
Yeah.
bitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nar
Um,
Nar at this point is going crazy from songs in his head right now,
Yes.
as in songs he never heard before.
All right. I collect the sheets, and then I look around the room. And is everybody else out on the way down in the other room?
Who's carrying Astrid's bow and arrows?
Oh,
I'm assuming mechanically, like technically, I probably could, but it would probably. I mean, she's got an axe, a
Sure,
bow,
right.
and
How
Lady
much-
Astrid.
How much encumbrance would that be?
The
'Cause I can
bow.
probably carry
I
it.
think a great bow is like.
Or that carry. He doesn't even have any. Yeah.
You know what? Warsong's gonna switch it out with hers.
Okay.
It is a really nice bow, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she's
You spaced out.
she'll
Oh, there you are.
she's not gonna like permanently keep it. I'm pretty sure I can't permanently keep it mechanically, but I can't really carry two bows,
All right.
and my bow is easily replaceable.
All right. So if you're all in there, does anyone have any objection to my starting this room on fire?
Set it on fire. Burn it.
Yep.
We burn evil things.
I mean, I guess
Especially the papers.
block our way back if we ended up having to turn around, would we?
I don't care if the whole room is on fire, but any spell books, and we don't know which ones are spell books, all of the books need to be burned. So if you have to put them in a fireplace, that's fine, but
But I thought we were carrying all the books and manuscripts
only
back.
what was on the desk.
Just what was on the desk, which I think is probably the lineage stuff. To give us a clue of what
Yeah.
she's trying to do here.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
Well, in
yes.
that case, set everything on fire.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna start piling books in the middle of the room.
I'll help.
Is
I'll
there a
be.
fireplace?
Well, the
I will-
fireplace is sort of spun out, right? I mean,
Yep.
I will. I will help Angie to speed up the process.
all right. And I'm gonna like break the end of the bed off and pile it on there with it.
Okay. So as the two of you are doing this, is everybody else waiting in the treasure chamber?
That would not be a good place to be waiting.
Why?
It's cursed.
He's got a point.
That's true.
I mean,
We
basically the whole tower is cursed, but you know.
Right. That's why we're going to burn this, and it's going to be
How long
awesome.
does it take?
I mean, it just takes a couple of minutes to pile things.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be worth it.
And there is two of us piling things.
All right.
All right.
We're moving as fast as we can.
As the two of you are piling things, the fireplace
Oh.
slams
That's what I was
back
wondering.
shut, and the door to the room opens. And standing in the doorway, you see,
Think.
you smell before you see a huge 6.5, 7-foot tall, shambling corpse with a steel helmet and a long blade in one hand.
Is it the Gondor man?
And it says, Angi,
Oi. Hey.
you.
It's what's his work face.
Where
I
are the
Move my flint to
ones?
really fast while he's trying to get this out.
Where are the ones?
Are you and him friends?
What's he saying? Shh, yo.
Read it.
Where are the ones
Who are you?
who took my treasure?
Ew.
Steps forward, dragging the sword blade across the floor.
Is this the snake? Is this the?
It is a
Rudolph's
man.
servant?
It
Oh,
is
it's
a man.
Okay. Sorry, mate. Don't. Well, I mean, don't know if I've seen your treasure, but I've got a bunch of books I got to burn here.
The other
And,
dwarf.
The ones that ate Mars' horse. The spider.
Um,
The one that she trapped.
The man.
can I attempt to open the fireplace again, seeing that I know how to open it?
As you scramble for it, the Draugr steps forward and raises the blade above his head.
Has the book started at all?
And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
No!
Oh,
Rust.
man.
He's supposed to be dead.
It's alright, you gotta burn everything. Every time.
No, but we set it on fire and we did the proper burial thing.
As
Maybe
far
it's
as you knew.
I mean, Ungi wasn't there, so I don't know how he knows Ungi.
Angi was.
Wait, is this the
Angi after that?
Right.
which
Yeah, he
which
wasn't actually there.
Dragar is this?
You don't know, Nar. You've never seen this Draugr before.
No, out of character.
Out of character, it's the one that you guys fought and burned at the other tower.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, Ungi's frantically trying to start a fire.
Yeah, so that's where we leave it. Is Angie's like, "Ah!" And that's where we're gonna stop it. Welcome to every hunt that you trigger from now until when you figure out a way to lift the curse.
Oh, the hunt. Crap. This thing has been like following us across the waste for like forever. And now it's finally drug itself up the stairs behind us.
I mean, it doesn't quite work that way, but yeah, something like that.
Oh, Leute! Pull this away! Got to be you, mate!